Hello, my fabulous friends. I hope you're doing well. Well, apparently there was quite the kerfuffle outside of the Commonwealth remembrance celebration, Thanksgiving yesterday outside the church. It's quite the kerfuffle. People were even yelling at William, and I'm like, William has nothing to do with this. And they were yelling like, what did you know? What did you know? And let's find out. Is there going to be repercussions? Will there be louder calls for Charles to step aside? Apparently the monarchy is, I saw one, I mean, you never know with these polls, are down to 59%, but William and Catherine are in the high 70s. I think there's 76 and 77% approval rating. So for the whole outcome of the monarchy, to save the monarchy, is there going to be pressure for Charles to step aside? Some lip readers said there were some, William said, I'm sick of hearing his name. I imagine that was Andrew because everyone was screaming about Andrew on the outside. And then it looked like Anne and Charles had tense words. They weren't as lovey as they were. Catherine and Anne had they had some giggles together, and looked like William and Auntie Anne were all right. Edward and Sophie did not show up. They were at the Paralympics, and you know, I kind of thought to myself, like they're at the Paralympics cheering on Great Britain. I kind of thought to myself, you could have flown home for one day to do the Commonwealth service and flown right back, right? It's only a couple hours flight. Flown home, did the service, out back the next day. I thought it was kind of disrespectful not to show up, tell you the truth. And I love Edward and Sophie. I think they're very hardworking. I think they're very sincere. They're very authentic. But I just thought, you know what? The monarchy needs that right now. It needs shoring up. The Duke of Gloucester, I know all my wonderful British friends are trying to correct me right now. Duke and Duchess of Gloucester were there. Obviously, the Duke of Kent was not there. And Prince Michael was not there. His wife is pretty ill right now. So I think they need some shoring up. It looked really kind of sad. There was only 4 couples there. There was the King and Queen, there was William and Catherine, Anne and Tim, and then the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester, 8. Let's find out, is there going to be repercussions? Are there going to be repercussions from the protesters outside, from, I don't know. Let's just find out. Cards are ready. And Catherine looked amazing, of course. Oh, yes. Oh boy, they were all kind of depressed about what was going on. Also looking at crying over spilt milk. Like, remember when Mom was here? And all of us kids would show up, and our kids and kids and kids. I think they realized this was not good. This was not a good look. Yeah. Oh, 9 of Swords. Yeah, you know what? They are still talking about it. Nobody slept last night. They're like, what are we going to do? We have a decision to make. The Chariot, William is taking control. That's William. It's not Camilla. Camilla doesn't take control like that. This is William taking control of the reins, and probably saying like, enough is enough. How much more? How much more? Yeah, embattled. Look at that. Embattled and boundaries. Page of Wands. I think we're going to hear some kind of news soon. I just want to make sure those are all fitting in. There we go. There we go. Oh, yeah. I'm also going to say they're a little bit embarrassed. The Nine of Wands can be embarrassment that something took you so long. You know, you can be embarrassed that, you know, you finally got a project done, but it, you know, really took really too long, went over budget, or, you know, you're just really embarrassed. You know, this is your Olympian that finally makes it there and stumbles and doesn't complete the race. And I think there's some embarrassment. Here we have 2 nines. 2 completions. I think we're going to see some more boundaries put up. I think we're going to hear some more enough is enough. I think we're going to hear some kind of announcement. But remember, the Page of Wands is announcements that grow. You put that wand in the ground and then the tree starts to grow. So Page of Wands brings us things like you know, announcing someone's pregnant, or announcing a birth of a baby, or building a house, or change somehow, some kind of change that lasts a long time. This isn't, oh, the king's not coming today for tea. This is you know, the king is stepping aside. Not that quite big, but do you know what I mean? I think they're embarrassed. Because the Nine of Wands is to do, it's also, I call it my PTSD card, that, you know, because we have the bandage around the head, that's mental health. And I think there might be a small amount of PTSD, what they're going through. Don't at me. I know I've got PTSD myself, so I understand it's from some extreme trauma, right? I get that. And I wouldn't say that they've had extreme trauma, but they have had trauma, like Catherine almost dying. The king is dying day by day, inching towards death. This whole thing with Andrew and, you know, their security, this whole thing with Meghan and Harry and the mess they've made on social media. And a lot of that can be very traumatic. And I'm going to say that there might be a tiny bit, a small part, that this last 7 years with Meghan Markle, and then with Andrew, and then with Catherine, that there could be this small part of a type of PTSD, along with the embarrassment. I don't think they're used to that. That would have never happened when the Queen was alive. Telling you that much. And they are looking at the past, crying over still. That would have never happened with Mum here. Look at them looking to the past. They're ever since Mum is gone, they've been in battle. And here's even the battle card. The Sun. The Sun. Well, there's another announcement. Another announcement of new beginnings. Birth of something. Boy, what a difference from the Nine of Swords to the Sun. Oh, Queen of Pentacles. Something about Catherine. Something about Catherine. Ace of Wands. I'm going to say, that they are actually working on this. We've got 2 big yes announcement cards here. We got the birth of something brand new. The sun comes out after a long dark night of crying and nightmares. The morning comes and everything is bright and shiny and new. And here's William and here's Catherine. Are they going to take charge? King of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles. Well, there's Harry. Who's the King of Pentacles? The World. You know, I'm getting in this reading, the King of Pentacles is actually somebody up at the top of the firm of the crown. Who is, look at the Pentacles, the King, the Queen, and the Knight. I think they're worried about their status. I think they're worried about, there's been lots of big cries about how much the royal family is spending and how much they cost, and a lot of really bad information out there. And I actually think there might be a background buzz to wrap this up with Charles. I honestly do. I think that I think this interesting. Look at all the yellow and all those cards that say "Not my king" and "What did you know?" They're all done in yellow. I think that this was more bothersome than they're letting on, and I'm going to say that they're kind of rounding up the troops to get this done. Remember, I did that the Regency card. All you need is 3 people to sign. All you need is 3 people, and it's not up to the king. Here's the 3 court cards right here. Wrap her up. Wrap her up. We will never be that embarrassed again. Also, I was looking for the King of Wands. Like, where was security? I know everybody has like free speech or whatever. But at what point do you allow that big of a crowd, anti-monarchist crowd, to crowd right by where the front door is? Yeah, they're allowed to go down, but or spread out. Like, did you see the crowd? Like, to me, that was a dangerous situation, and I'm not a security expert. That was almost a mob. 3 of Cups. They're in agreement. There's 3 people. And here we have 3 again. They're in agreement with 3 people. Is Harry going to be part of this? There's the Knight of Wands. Yeah. Oh, you know what? There we go. I think this is going to be the ruin of Harry and Meghan. And the Empress and the Knight of Swords. I'm going to say, the Empress is also my Europa card because of the stars on the flag and the Empress, and Europa actually was a female goddess. I think Harry and Meghan know that if that happens, it's the end of them. I think they're going to act quickly on this. And I think it's also to save Queen Elizabeth's legacy. This is almost ruining her legacy, all of this that's going on. I have to agree with Bookworm that Charles looked absolutely terrible. Ooh, McClock agrees with me too. I think they are at a crisis point right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if we get 3 people signed up to pull the Regency on him. Yeah, because he's not interested in leaving. You know what? You can put all this at him. Going, look what it's doing to the monarchy. Look at this, look at that. And he doesn't care. We got the 3 here that are spilled, right? So this is 4 and this is 5. So here's the 3, and somebody's offering you a way out or a new idea or something, and you refuse it, and then now all your 3 cups are spilt over because you didn't listen, because you refused to take any kind of advice. Here's the advice. Queen of Cups. I think we've got Camilla on board here. Page of Cups, surprising. And look, yeah, here we have another 3, guys. I think we're going to hear something soon about. Oh, it was late in the year. I did a timing reading, and it said there around March 17th, something really big is going to happen. So I don't know. I think there right now there's big plans. There's big plans. And I think they'll be surprised that Camilla's on board with it. Probably to do with his health more than anything. Also her standing, right? If the monarchy falls, she's in, I don't know what's going to happen to her. Well, she's got her own money and her own thing going on. I wouldn't be surprised if Camilla's one of the three that signs or tells Charles, because you have to remember this is also the Scorpio card, and there she is holding the urn. Well, it's actually the Ark of Convent. Ark. Brain, please. Right? If you look at the Ark, the Covenant, you know what I mean. There's those angels on either side. This card's very, very mystical, very occult, very mystical. Has angels, has the ark, has the angels that are on side of the ark, has the cross on it. It's an urn, it's death. There's a lot there. It's a very, very occult Scorpio mystical card. Yeah, I think we're going to see some action. I think they've had enough. I really do. I wouldn't be surprised if we do hear something very soon. I think they're working behind the scenes, and I think Charles' days are numbered. If he doesn't abdicate, I think I think there's a really strong possibility of a co-regency. So there's an 8. Are they going to let it go 8 weeks? Will we see a co-regency by end of May? Will we see a co-regency by the end of May? All right. Will we see a co-regency by the end of May? Ooh, 3. There's the 3 again, the 3 betrayal, the sorrow. Oh, I wonder if he won't even be here. So this is a no, but it's also a lot of sorrow. So I wonder, I won't go much further into that. Thank you very much for watching. Please take good care. See you online. Bye for now.